Hello everybody, I'm Brian Trout coming to you from Mossy Creek Fly Fishing, and I'm here to give you the fishing forecast. Today is Tuesday, October 6th. So we're going to keep trying to do these regularly, roughly once a week. Sometimes a lot will change, especially as we really start progressing through the seasons, but not a lot has changed since I brought you the last forecast. It was nice and cold this morning, 35 degrees at my house, but it's been warming up really nicely in the afternoons. It's going to be in the upper 70s today and tomorrow. So for those of you who enjoy a little bit warmer weather, it'll be nice the next couple of days. The larger rivers, as we talked about last week, the smallmouth bite and the largemouth bite, it's still there. They haven't completely left yet. We've had a few boats out on the water over the last week or so. I think it's pretty close to being done if, for a really good morning to evening throughout the whole day bite. So if you can get out in the next few days and enjoy this last little shot of warm air, you can still get some smallmouth. Fishing deeper, fishing slower is probably the best method. We're still getting them on clawdads and critter mites down on the bottom. You may get an hour or two of them feeding a little further up in the water column. If they won't come all the way up to the top, murditch minnows are a great fly because they kind of suspend, they're neutrally buoyant. You can still sight fish them. A lot of fun to fish. So if you got one last chance to get out on the James or the Shenandoah, try and do so in the next few days because it'll really drop off quickly. Once those fish decide it's game over, they'll leave all their little haunts, their little summer haunts, and they'll head off into the deeper pools. So, but we had some really big largemouth taken this week. The largemouth actually like a little bit cooler temperatures compared to the hot dog days of the summer. So it's not surprising to see them on the bite. So we'll bring you up another report on the bass next week and see if they've made their way off for the wintertime. The stocked trout streams are starting to come online. As I mentioned, the Department of Game, they start their stocking on the beginning of October, and true to form, they've been out canvassing the state and trying to get everything loaded up for the season. There's a number of lakes and streams you can check out. Those are updated every day at 3 on their website. A couple streams to note, some favorites for fly fishermen. One would be Spring Run, which is a cool little spring creek that comes right out of the hatchery there at Coursey Springs. That's been stocked, as well as the Jackson Special Reg. So that's definitely a fan favorite. People love going to the Jackson. There's great camping there. It's a little bit of a hike back into the woods there, but the Special Reg at Hidden Valley has been stocked for the season. So great news and a great place to go. And like I mentioned last week, as we start to transition through October and a lot of our brook trout begin to spawn and our brown trout begin to spawn, you'll want to focus on some of these rainbow trout fisheries just because they don't spawn until the spring. So they're just like squirrels. They're out collecting nuts and stocking up on food for the winter. So check the list out. They add to it daily. And a lot of delayed harvest streams are around the state are starting to come online. As soon as some of the ones a little bit closer to home here come online, we'll let you know. But it's nice when they open up those DHs for the year because they usually fish great fall, winter, and spring, and you can go there knowing that there's plenty of fish in the stream and that people aren't taking them and pulling them out. So we'll bring you more on the stock trout water as the state continues to cover the area. As far as the spring creeks go, not a lot has changed. Tricos are still popping. I was actually on Mossy Creek yesterday, and we took several fish on the surface. So they're still eating grasshoppers. They're still looking up and eating beetles. It was windy yesterday, and wind is a 4-letter word for fly fishermen. But if you're on a meadow stream where there's wind, the one advantage to it is it actually pushes terrestrials and such into the water. So a lot more bugs end up on the creek itself, so that it causes the fish to look up. So trico spinner fall, yesterday it was like 1 o'clock, so that's not unusual for it to happen afternoon at this point. Look for those to hang around, I would say, for at least another month. They'll be with us. Same with the terrestrials. I think we get a good number, 3 or 4 weeks out of them. I like fishing big hoppers, hitting the water hard. If you haven't seen any fish eat off the surface all morning, then just recognize you're asking them to do something that they aren't doing. They aren't tuned into the surface. So the bigger the hopper, the bigger the splat, the more you move it and kick it and swim it, the better chance you'll have of grabbing their attention. And if none of that's working, just hang a nymph off the back, right? And fish your hopper as your indicator rig. We've been having good luck on caddis jig nymphs, soft tackle jig nymphs, anything that kind of moves or pulsates in the water. And tungsten jigs are just awesome. They're down and fishing in the strike zone very quickly, as opposed to having to drift all the way through the run before it gets down. So Buffalo Creek, Smith Creek, Mossy Creek, Spring Run, all these streams are fishing great. And of course, with them being spring fed or spring influenced, they don't change temperature a whole lot from morning to afternoon. So you can get out there kind of whenever you feel comfortable, and the water temps will moderate a little bit, but not too much. The brook trout streams are in great shape. There are some lower water on some of our streams, depending on where you are in the Commonwealth. So just if you get to a stream and the water's a little bit lower, longer leaders, lighter leaders, switch from 5X to 6X. Instead of fishing a size 14 nymph, switch to a size 16 nymph. Just size everything down, make everything a little bit smaller. Be careful with your approach and your presentation. Don't dress brightly, and use the terrain to kind of hide yourself and conceal yourself. We haven't had any reports yet of the fish completely paired up or on their nest or anything. So just be on the lookout for that. It can happen very, very soon. And of course, once you start seeing those fish paired up, you want to leave them alone. We leave them alone and allow them to spawn and allow for those eggs to be safe and all that stuff. So we'll talk more about that as we kind of get into the actual spawn. But get out there, just like the smallmouth bass, you've got probably several days, maybe even a week or so, to get out and enjoy them before they kind of do their thing. So as always, you can call the shop. All the guides and employees here are happy to answer your questions. You can email us or you can call us if you need additional information or details or updates. Check out our website. We've spent the better half of this last year building a brand new website, brand new online store. We've put thousands and thousands of products up, taken thousands of pictures ourselves. It's been a long process, but everybody here has chipped in, and it's really paid off. If you look at our streams portion on our website, we're going to be adding to it a lot. You'll notice that there's a bunch of new streams on there, but we're going to build a resource on there for everyone to be able to, go and spread out and find new water and find new places. And when I give you these fishing reports and mention a creek name or a stream name, a lot of times you can just go on the website and click on that name, and it'll tell you where it is, what to expect when you get there, and all that good stuff. So anyway, stay fishy, everybody. Have fun out there on the water and enjoy the fall. Thanks.